pass here, and sort of will get this out for Sandin. He's got some room. His pass intercepted by Chatfield. And the Canes are going to come back the other way. Hustling in, trying to get it across for Blake. Second opportunity, score! Logan Stankoven. Handling with it, a tight turn. Across for Ovechkin. Bussi with another save on Ovechkin. Now here is Seth Jarvis for Carolina. Coming in on Thompson. Jarvis digs. What a goal! Seth Jarvis with a quadruple deke. Milano wide to the right, drifting back in. Milano waiting, back in. Bussi ends it with the save. Dear Bussi becomes the first goalie in NHL history with 10 wins in his first 11 games played.
10-1.
Incredible. Utterly incredible. Hi, everyone. Adam Gold here on the Canes Corner podcast. We're brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. If it is for the exterior of your home, you can find it at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina on Hamlin Road in Durham. No place like it. Sammy Hanna and his crew do a great job. Actually, if I could turn the camera, and I can, but I'm not going to, you would see a great window they just put in the kitchen. Actually, there's 3 windows they put in the kitchen, but they did other work too. And in due time, we'll be back in studio screen and porch, and you'll be able to see even more of it. My gosh. Oh, man, what an exhilarating 3-2 shootout win for Carolina, right? Canes go to Washington. Capitals were as hot as any team, not named the Colorado Avalanche in the NHL. They had won 10 in a row. They were 10-1-1 in their last dozen. They had gone from 8-8-2 to 18-9-3 and assumed the position atop the Metropolitan Division until tonight. And because Carolina still has a game in hand and they're even on 40 points, the Hurricanes will be listed at the top of the table on NHL.com tomorrow. And the Canes deserve to win tonight. They were the better team tonight. I know Washington made it more even in the third period, but that's all it was an even third period because the Hurricanes were really, really good just about all night long. First period, I give, if we're scoring it in boxing, I give Carolina like a 10-9 edge. But the way the second period was played, it was 10-8. And then the third period, even. We'll go 10. We'll go 10 aside. But the Hurricanes landed the last punch in regulation and survived the overtime. Frankly, they should have done better. They had the puck for the majority of it, but they got no shots on goal. I think Andrei Svechnikov had the only shot attempt, and that was deflected high into the netting. And then Washington had the last 3 scoring chances. Loved it when Blake and Ehlers collided to set up Dylan Strome on a overtime breakaway that Bussi got a block or two. Then he stopped Ovechkin for the 4th time and Alexei Protas. Before we go to the shootout, Jarvis does his thing, Bussi does his, and the Hurricanes get a 3-2 win. Really would have been criminal to lose the game in regulation. To get nothing out of tonight would have been absolutely discouraging. Even though you think about the way the game was played, you got to like the way Carolina played. By far the better team for the majority of this game. But Washington's a great team. They're much better than I thought they would be this year. Not that last year was a fluke, because I think that Washington was a good team, and I thought ultimately they would be pretty close to being a playoff team again. But I overrated a couple of other teams, which not that surprising when you're guessing before the season. But I thought Washington literally had everybody on the team except for Alexander Ovechkin have career seasons. Everybody. Wilson, Strome, Protas. Dubois didn't necessarily have a career year, but he had a great bounce back year. But everybody had a career year. Best offensive numbers of their entire career. And that's why Washington won the Metro. But they're getting it done again. And they don't have guys having that kind of a year. They have guys having good years, but they don't have, Tom Wilson's having a great year. Tom Wilson's a great player. An absolute stud. Love watching him. I know that people don't like him, and I don't like some of the antics, but I got nothing but admiration to watch him play. All right, before we get to particulars of all of this. This is the type of win. And we have no idea how it's going to happen, how Carolina's going to react to it. But this is the type of win that triggers a winning streak. You dominate the game on the road against a great team. It looks like you're going to get nothing. Then you get even, you get yourself into overtime, and you go, whoa, well, at least we got 1 point. And then you end up getting 2. And the 2 points, what it does, it allows you to validate everything you did for 60 minutes. And there are some correctable mistakes, of course. But everything you did for 60 minutes, it allows you to validate that because you end the game with both points. And you do it on the road in Washington. It's a great, great win. And we have said this for a while now. The Hurricanes are 19-9-2, 40 points in third gear. Still have not yet had any sort of scoring binge from anybody. This is not about, Jarvis has 17 goals, but he has not gone on a, 14 points in 9 games tear. Sebastian Aho has been very steady and good. I know there were some disappointing offensive moments tonight for Aho, but other than the turnover in overtime, I thought he was excellent. Svechnikov has been, in terms of the way his game looks, I think Andre, since those first 8 games, where he was maybe lost in his feels a little bit, but he has certainly bounced back, and he has been awesome. We saw the best ever from Nick Ehlers tonight, and Ehlers, Blake, and Stankoven were just tremendous, but Nick was off the charts. We'll talk about him a little bit. But nobody for Carolina has really gotten going offensively. And they are, again, 19-9-2, 30 games in, 40 points. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Imagine what will happen. And, oh, by the way, no Jacob Slavin. This is now 28 games missed for Slavin. Will he draw in for either of the Flyers games? My guess is they probably don't want to use him in a back-to-back right out of the gate. Maybe that is what set back Jesperi Kotkaniemi, because he has now missed 2 straight games. But it's possible that we see Slavin in the second Flyer game, which, of course, the last time we saw him was against the Flyers in Raleigh in the second game of the season. But he didn't finish that one. So they're doing all of this without any scoring binges. With Aho really all of their guys but Jarvis kind of subpar where you think they'd be in terms of goals at this point. And no Slavin. Not to mention all the other injuries on defense earlier in the year. But I guess we have to give credit to our first item on the docket today. And I don't know what to say other than it was pretty doggone fun to watch this.
Now Ovechkin from his spot. Bussi makes the save. Right in the Ovechkin office. And Bussi made sure that he stayed stout. Now Beauvillier out in front. Dear Bussi! What a save! Robbing Alexander Ovechkin. He just took it away from Ovechkin. And now this will be fluttered back in, and a low drop by Protas. And that's a tough left pad save made by Bussi. And handling with it, a tight turn. Across for Ovechkin. Bussi with another save on Ovechkin.
He's got a hat trick of ace saves on Ovechkin in the third and now overtime.
Yeah. He had 3 saves, 2 saves in the third period, 1 in overtime on Ovechkin. I had him for 4 saves on OV for the game. I mean, what do you say? 10-1, 207 goals against average, 910 save percentage. NHL record for 10 wins. Nobody's ever done 10 wins in their first 11 games in the NHL. Now, is it a convoluted, we make up records out as we go along? Yeah. But if nobody has ever won 10 of their first 11 starts in the NHL, whether it's a record or not, he's the only person to ever do it. So credit for that. Now, let's have the conversation. There's a lot of things to talk about. First of all, there's still a little bit of good fortune, right? With Bussi. Protas should have scored in the first period. And we're not even going to, we're not talking about, well, Carolina missed some opportunities too. We're going to get to that. It's all part of the game, right? Protas should have scored. Just missed a puck on a wide open net. Carlson hits the crossbar on the power play in the third period. There's that. And yes, there were a whole bunch of saves, but there could have been a couple of goals tonight, just like there could have been a couple of goals in the Nashville game earlier than there were. So there is some good fortune, but these saves that I already played, and there are others.
Forehand, and he'll miss. Bussi gets a piece.
And he got a piece there, I think, with either the blocker or the stick.
Yeah, that's Strome in overtime. The only 3 shots in overtime on goal. Strome breakaway. Ovi right side. Protas sort of breakaway. And Bussi stopped them all. Big saves at the right time. And I still don't know what to make of all of it. I mean, I'm honest, right? And maybe part of that is I don't want to declare it and then have it go the other way, because it can. But I think the better thing to do is simply pretend or just go with the here and now. And here and now is this. He's their best goaltender. Brandon Bussi is the one. I told you after Tuesday's game that Thursday, which is today, would tell us a lot. And I think that Rod Brindamore going back to Brandon Bussi, remember what the general plan is for goaltending and this team. Under Rod, yes, there have been times where they have gone with a 1. Peter Mrazek in year 1 was pretty much a 1. Frederik Andersen, when he and Ranta got here together, Andersen was pretty much a 1 until he got hurt. After that, while Andersen has sort of been the 1, it's really been a shared responsibility. Well, if you look at Carolina's games played, in terms of which goalies have played, more recently, as I pull it up on their game notes here. Let me just get to it so I can read it to you. The truth of the matter is that Brandon Bussi has started 5 of Carolina's last 7 games. That's a share. That's not a timeshare anymore. Now, Kochetkov has only started the one, and I kind of thought that if it was not going to be Bussi, it would have gone back to Kochetkov, and he did back up tonight. And going forward, I'm going to go on the assumption that we're going to get more Bussi than anything as we sit here right now. So let's go through very quickly. There's 7 games left before the break, right? I'm sorry, 6 games left before the Christmas break. Saturday and Sunday in Philly, and then home. My guess is that we'll see Kochetkov in Philly, and you'll see Bussi at home against the Flyers on Sunday. Wednesday, Nashville. You go back to Kochetkov? Maybe. I think you probably do. Friday, Florida, Bussi. Here's the only thing that would get in the way of that. Pyotr Kochetkov has been excellent in his career against the Panthers. He's been great against the Panthers. He's been great against the Rangers. Again, Russian goalies. But you're going to play 3 Russian goalies in a row, more than likely. You'll have Florida, Tampa, Florida. So if you go with Kochetkov in Nashville and come back with Bussi against Florida, then Kochetkov would miss. He hasn't been as good against Tampa and Vasilevsky. Been good, but not amazing. He's been really good against Shesterkin and the Rangers and Bobrovsky and the Panthers. So maybe you just go Bussi again in Nashville and then go Kochetkov, Bussi against Tampa, and Kochetkov again against Florida. Although, the way Bussi's playing, why wouldn't you make hay? Bottom line is, and I know I saw it on the chat, I do think we are in the part of the season where Rod is going to go with his 2 goalies. And even though this is a concentrated stretch where he could get Anderson a game, to give Freddie one more chance, Bussi is playing too well. And I think 3 of Kochetkov's 5 starts have been very good to great. The 2 wins, the Rangers and the Bruins, were awesome. I thought he played really well against the Sharks. And the 2 games that were wins, forget exactly who the first one was. The second one was the Sabres. Those 2 games that were wins, he got away with a poor performance, but they outscored Kochetkov's problems. But what Rod is looking for is exactly what Brandon Bussi has given him. Big save at the right time. Hey, look, let's just be fair here. First goal is not on him, but I don't think he played it great. The pass to McMichael in front, because if I think Bussi might have thought about a poke check there, and so his stick didn't help him, and he opened up, and there was an easy, slide it through the 5-hole. Jankowski lost coverage on McMichael. He lost the race to the net, all of that. But again, I don't think Bussi played that particularly well, but again, not a bad goal. And on the second goal, it's his mistake behind the net that lets the puck in. Now, there were several other opportunities for Carolina to erase the entire sequence. They kind of misplayed the play initially as it entered the zone. They let the puck stay in. It seemed like any one of 3 players. I remember Alexander Nikishin there. I don't remember the other 2. And look, I thought Nikishin played well, so I'm not in any way necessarily being critical. But there were guys that had opportunities to make sure the puck got out of the zone, and they didn't. And then Bussi misplayed it behind the net. He was not great with the puck tonight. I know Tripp, he made a couple of good plays with it, and Tripp talked about him looking better with the puck. But I think if Tripp goes back and watches the game, there were a few situations where get rid of the puck, bro. Don't play it. Don't go back and play it. You just have to be quicker and more decisive. He did make some good plays with the puck. So those happen too. But by and large, I'll trade the good plays with the puck to get rid of the bad plays with the puck. Because when that happens, you're inviting a goal, and he invited a goal. But those are probably the only two moments in the entire game where Brandon Bussi was anything other than exactly what you want. It is an incredible, incredible story. Two more quick things. One is, the numbers are great. You know, he is not eligible for the Calder. Unless they have now changed the rule. I just read where they had a player back in I think it was 89-90. Makarov is a Russian player, was a veteran player, played in Russia, came over to the NHL, and at age 31, won Rookie of the Year, won the Calder. Sort of like when Ichiro won Rookie of the Year when he was like 29 after a stellar career in Japan. So they changed the rule to say you had to be 26 years old on September 15th of your rookie season in the NHL. Bussi's 27. So by that rule, he's ineligible for the Calder, which to me kind of sucks. And who knows? I'm not saying he'd win the Calder, but dude is 10-1 with a 207 goals against and a 910 save percentage in 11 NHL starts. His first ever 11 NHL starts. It's amazing. All right, now here's the other thing. When we get to January, the Hurricanes are eligible to give him a contract. Also, when we get to January, not that this is going to happen, if the Hurricanes decided, for what, again, it's not going to happen. But if the Hurricanes decided they wanted to send him to the minor leagues, he would have to clear waivers. But anybody that kept him would have to keep him on their NHL roster. Just again, ain't going to happen. Dude isn't going anywhere. Not going to get waived. It's not going to get sent to the minors. But the Hurricanes are eligible to give him a contract. What is that contract going to look like? Is that a contract for an NHL starter? Is it a contract for somebody who can be part of your tandem? Is it for a number one? I have no idea what is going to happen with that. But I'm telling you, in January, he's going to get they're going to start talking. Maybe they might be talking already. He can't agree to anything until January. All I know is his agent. He's probably changed his number, his mind, probably, I don't know, maybe 10 times. Because right now, Brandon Bussi looks like a legitimate NHL goaltender. Like, he doesn't look like Shesterkin, Bobrovsky, Vasilevsky, those guys. He doesn't look like one of those yet. And I don't know that he'll ever be one of those. But he certainly looks like a bona fide NHL starting goaltender. And the serendipitous nature of how all of this played out and is still playing out is simply one of the most incredible things ever. The Hurricanes went into the season with Frederik Andersen, an injured Pyotr Kochetkov, and nothing else. Like, take me back to the last day of the exhibition season. Bussi's not on the roster yet. Caden Primo, we watched in the preseason. Didn't look all that great. Nikita Kwap, Miftakov. There was only Freddie Andersen. And Anderson started the opener. And he started the second game. And, he wasn't terrible. It was okay. They won both. He let in a bad goal in each game. But Anderson really never got any traction. And Bussi, they needed somebody to just play some games, give Freddie a rest so he doesn't get the brakes beaten off him. And Bussi played well in San Jose, and he played well in LA. They won both games. He played great in Dallas, but they lost because Carolina had 2 own goals. And he hasn't lost since. And he's been like Frederik Andersen has been, for the most part, mediocre to poor. Even the games where he was mediocre to poor. Brandon Bussi has been at least good every start. I can't explain it. It's incredible. I am to have a conversation with Eric Tulsky about what this contract's going to look like. I don't know what it is. And I don't know what the outcome is going to be because nobody does. Nobody does. But I'm just going to stay in the present and just marvel at what I'm watching because it really is an amazing story. All right, we've already almost finished up our allotted time, so let me throw this at you. Nick Ehlers, there was a moment in his career where Alex Rodriguez became a Yankee. I kind of feel like Nick Ehlers became a Hurricane tonight. He was awesome. He scores the first goal on the rebound. He creates the second goal. He had 4 or 5 other eye-opening moments tonight, including one where he danced all the way through the entire defense. And I think he tried to make a pass. Should have shot it, but he didn't really have he was on his backhand at that point. He did 2 complete laps around the offensive zone. 2 complete laps. Didn't get a shot off, but did 2 complete laps around the offensive zone. I think that was at the end of regulation. I mean, he was fantastic tonight. Logan Stankoven continues to play well and finally ended the scoring drought. It was 14 games without a goal. So now he's off the schneid. Now the next one that has to end the scoring drought is Svechnikov, who hasn't had a goal in 9 games. It's 9 games now. But again, I ain't complaining because he's playing well. Andre played well tonight. And Carolina as a team played really, really well tonight. And I thought this was an excellent defensive game from Keandre Miller. Jalen Chatfield with the defensive play of the season. I likened it to a defensive back reading the quarterback and jumping on the route because the play that leads to the goal that ties it up at 2 starts with Chatfield intercepting a pass, and he read the play so well that he intercepted it going forward. So he actually started the transition opportunity that led to the Stankoven goal. I thought Joel Nystrom was really good. I don't think he played a ton, but I thought he was really good, including being, I don't know if he's credited with a hit, but physical a few times. And I thought Alexander Ovechkin played well again. And again, Joel Nystrom's about to come out of the lineup. When Jacob Slavin comes back, Joel Nystrom's going to go play in Chicago. And he's going to play 22 minutes a night for the Chicago Wolves. He is an NHL defenseman. And whether it's here or whether Nystrom ends up being part of a deal, Joel Nystrom can play in the NHL. He is a very, very good player. He's no Brandon Bussi, though, because that's what we're dealing with. Awesome. All right, real quick, shouts to our friends in Vero Beach, California. Tokyo chiming in. let's see, is it like 2, 3 in the afternoon in Tokyo? In the after, yeah, I think 3 in the afternoon. Adelaide Hills, it's apparently very hot in Adelaide Hills and in Perth. Of course, it is summer in Australia. Seattle, hi Talia, Wilmington, and who wouldn't like to enjoy a long leaf IPA at this point? Thanks to all of you for hanging out here on the Canes Corner podcast, the Brandon Bussi episode. Be fun to see what happens on Saturday in Philadelphia. I kind of think they're going to go to Kochetkov, but I don't know. I did say I would start Bussi in this game, and Rod even talked about it being, see how he does with this particular challenge. Well, what do you think? Brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. If it is for the exterior of your home, you can find it right there at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina on Hamlin Road or Durham. No place like it. Sammy Hanner's crew do a great job. I'm Adam Gold. We'll see you Saturday night after the Canes take on the Flyers. Maybe another Brandon Bussi show. Who knows? Until then, I mean...
Milano, wide to the right, drifting back in. Milano waiting, back in. Bussi ends it with the save. Dear Bussi becomes the first goalie in NHL history with 10 wins in his first 11 games played.
10-1.